What's good, way familiar? It's your boy JK, and last week I did a list compiling the 50 Cent disses against T.I.'s disses going on for what's going on right now with 50 and T.I. going back and forth online, and T.I. dissing having some good diss tracks in my opinion going back, and everybody wondering if 50 gonna come back with the rats. So I was like, let me compile a little list to see what their record is. Now, I dropped it on Instagram and I also dropped it on TikTok, and it's going crazy on TikTok, up to 15,000 views. Follow me on TikTok at JKPlayAWave. Shameless plug. But anyway, please definitely see on there and all the comments, and definitely comment on there, and I'll definitely respond back to you. So a lot of people had a little issues with some of the people I gave wins and losses to. So I felt like let me do a video just to explain why I did the list and why I picked the songs that I picked. So I picked the songs that I picked on there. It depends on impact. I'm not really going off of the whole entire beef, sort of say. It's more just what the more impactful record against the impactful record on each side. So I know a lot of people, when it came to the 50 Cent game, a lot of people was like, they had a lot of diss tracks, and a lot of people felt it went 50 ways. Some people felt it went the game's way. But I'm going to explain every single track that I put on the list. So let's start with number one. So number one is, I put the How to Rob era, because a lot of these diss tracks that was coming on from 50's opponents was from responses from How to Rob. And the first one I had on here was Jay-Z is Hot. That was a response from the How to Rob when he mentioned Jay-Z on How to Rob. So 50 Cent's response was a song called Be a Gentleman. So Be a Gentleman is a good diss song. I'm not gonna knock it. I love the beat. I loved a lot of the lines. He flipped a lot of Jay-Z lines on there.
You're gonna talk about your chicks that we run in your crib. Then you're gonna ask dumb questions like, can I live? Look, if I shoot you, I'm famous. If you shoot me, you're brainless. You said it yourself.
It was very dope, this record, but that one liner from It's Hot, even 50 said it himself, like, I had to give it up to Jay on that, because that one liner shut that shit down.
He go on stage. That's the first time I ever seen 30,000 people.
I'm about dollars. Who the fuck is 50 Cent?
I didn't even know 30,000 people knew who 50 Cent was. I should send him a bottle of champagne for that.
So that's why I gave Jay-Z the win on that one. So that's what it was for Jay-Z and 50 Cent. Next one was Raekwon and Ghostface, them doing the skit, because he mentioned on How to Rob, I'm gonna rob Wu-Tang with them funny ass rings. So he responded back with a freestyle called F Ghost. That was a dope freestyle.
Them Staten Island niggas still puffing them dust blunts. Country motherfuckers still rocking them gold fronts. Out Cali still wearing them Pro-Keds. Jamaican still putting designs in their head. Heard Ghost album, niggas talking that dumb shit. I got a shell for every dust head you run with. What?
And I gave him the win because you can't really compare a skit to a freestyle. And to be honest, the skit that they did, Raekwon kind of switched up his voice. It was on the Supreme Clientele album, if y'all don't know. But I gotta give a whole diss track over a skit. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I gave 50 the win on that one. Next one is I Shot Ya, freestyle, and Sticky Fingers. Jackin' for Beats 99. So same thing, Sticky Fingers was responding back to How to Rob. He came back with a couple freestyles, but the one that I picked was the I Shot Ya freestyle. And the reason that one to me took the win, that's one of, in my opinion, one of 50 Cent's kind of earlier like classic freestyles, because it's him and Tony Ayo. You don't really, I think it was the first time, I'm not gonna say the first time you heard Tony Ayo, but you really heard him and Fifth early in the day. So I was like, I gotta give the win to that one, to, even though Sticky Fingers did have some good lines on there. He said, you're more than a man than your mom was. And I was like, that was a strong line.
The real 50 from Brooklyn, God bless it, got outed. You just a fake clown that front and rap about it. I got a new deal for a few mil, shoot 2 kill. You fruity like Drew Hill, you spare change. You ain't even half a man's cuz. Matter of fact, you ain't even half the man's your mom's was.
But I had to give it to 50 because he just, that freestyle is the classic.
If coke like Bobby, smoke weed like Whitney, white with big implants like Britney. I know soft niggas like Mace, ghetto niggas like Case, little niggas like Shaheen with scars in their face, a horn or a hi-hat, I'm selling the bass. I know niggas like Red and Meth who always high. I know fake gangster niggas like Sticky and Jive.
Next one, for the last one for the How to Rob, was 50 Cent when he did Your Life's on the Line. obviously, you know, they went back and forth from back then. This is late 90s. Your Life's on the Line, you know, the original, there was two versions of the song. The original, he was going directly at Ja Rule.
You can stay away from Ja before you get on some bullshit. Talk to police on that Sammy the Bull. Ja, why you get jokes in your own hood? Why niggas who rob you walk around like it's all good? Damn. Why you in the pring to get your shit back? Why you wanna approach me? Cause you know I put shit back.
But the one that ended up on the album was, you know, the one they had the video for. And I never, until I did my research, I never knew that Ja Rule had responded to 50's Your Life on the Line on the Murderers album, It's Ugly. So, and you know, in Ja's defense, he had a good, you know, couple lines going back at 50, I'm not gonna lie. But Your Life's on the Line, classic song. Yeah, so above none, he took the win on that one, in my opinion. Now, I'm getting into the Shady G-Unit Aftermath era, and this is the era that a lot of y'all had an issue with. So, I'm gonna go with the first one. Ja Rule Back Down and Clap Back. Alright. So, this one I got a little bit pushback on. A lot of people were saying I should have picked Loose Change instead of Clap Back because they didn't really feel like Clap Back was a diss track. Clap Back was a diss track. Let's just keep it honest. He may not have said 50 too much by name, but it was a very, you know, catchy song, and the impact of that record was very, you know, was the first single of that album, Blood in My Eye. It was a very, you know, catchy song, good song. But Back Down is Back Down. You know what I'm saying? Like that, you can't even compare it. Now, Loose Change was a good freestyle if he would have spelled murder right. So that one, to me, I think it kind of took away from it. And to be honest, once Hail Mary came out, when it was 50, M, Busta, that kind of killed Loose Change. So that's why to be honest, if I would have put one up against another, I would have put Loose Change against Hail Mary. But we just talking about the commercial diss tracks. Back Down is going to definitely overtake Clap Back. Next one, I'm So Hood and Running by Mr. Cheeks. So Mr. Cheeks and 50 have been, 50 has been coming at Mr. Cheeks since Your Life's on the Line on the original, you know, one where he said something about him not going to Tile Week. I didn't pick that one only because that was the original, but he dissed him again on I'm So Hood on the G-Unit album. Great song, you know what I'm saying? And then he responded back with Mr. Cheeks responded back with Running, him freestyling off the Running beat. I didn't really feel like that was good enough to go against I'm So Hood, so that's why I picked I'm So Hood as the winner. Next one, Piggy Bank going at Fat Joe, and Fat Joe's response, My Fofo. Now, My Fofo from Fat Joe, and this is one that a lot of people gave me pushback on. My Fofo is a really underrated diss track. It was very good. I'm not gonna lie. My Fofo was good, but Piggy Bank, the impact of Piggy Bank and what it did, I felt like it overtook My Fofo. Next one, I Run New York and Checkmate by Jadakiss. Do we really gotta explain this, bro? Jada took that all day. You know what I'm saying? That's probably the best 50 diss track ever. Like, from start to finish, I don't even gotta explain that one. Next one. Now this one I got a lot of pushback on, and rightfully so, but it depends on what you go for. Funeral, 50 Cent against Cam's Curtis. So the problem is, I get it. Some people, now I'm only going off of diss tracks. A lot of y'all was in the comments saying, well, in the video and did it in the video. I'm not going by the video. I'm going by the actual tracks themselves. Let's start off with Funeral Music. Funeral Music, very good song. I did like it. Beat was good. Direct to the point. It was good. Now, Curtis, sort of same thing. I like the beat. You know, some of the bars was on point. I just felt like it was even. I just feel like it's both songs they're kind of, I ain't gonna say forgettable, but they weren't like, if you go in their discography and you be like, yo, I remember this song, you're not gonna pick Curtis. And as when they get tops, you're not gonna pick Funeral Music, especially with diss tracks as well. That's why I said it was kind of even, because it really didn't go nowhere besides them 2 songs, and then that was it pretty much. That's why I gave it a tie. Fight with me if you want to, you know what I'm saying? But that's why I said a tie. Next one, Just a Touch, him coming at Nas, and Nas responding with Don't Body Yourself. This one I didn't get much pushback on. Nah, Don't Body Yourself is one of Nas's, in my opinion, one of his most underrated diss records, period. Forget a diss, but he bodied 50 on that one. Like,
And you were none of the above. See, you a sucker for death if I'm a sucker for love. And y'all wanna know why I ain't got an answer, niggas? Cause I truly understand these niggas scared of me, so they talk about family members like I can't point out your grandma to niggas.
that one isn't even self-explanatory. We gotta get that to Nasir Jones. Next one is Officer Ricky and going at Rick Ross and Mafia Music. So Ross dissed him first on Mafia Music. Everybody knows that. This one I got a lot of pushback on. A lot of people felt like Ross didn't win. Mafia Music to me is one of Ross's best songs ever. Like, he was just rolling through that whole thing. I think we gotta give it to Ross. Ross, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated lyricists from the South. Like, he was just bodying that song, just going bars. Like, he was just giving bars on that record. Officer Ricky was good. I'm not gonna lie. He definitely had some lines coming at Rick Ross, but I just felt like that impact of Mafia Music, and at the time when Deeper and Rat came out, I felt like Ross was really on some Nas type shit. Like, he really wanted to show people, no, I could really rap. Forget all this down south hustling, all of that. Those was hits, obviously. But on this album, I felt like he wanted to really show people he could rap. And the first song on there was Mafia Music, so I got to give it to Ross for that win. I know a lot of y'all gonna feel otherwise, but I'm taking Ross for the win. Next one, Part-Time Lover 50 Cent and him going at Wayne, and Wayne coming back with Louisiana. Part-Time Lover is one of my, just me, underrated songs. Like, I love Part-Time Lover. That was my joint when it came out. And you know, he went at Wayne a little bit.
You make me wanna kiss you like baby kiss Wayne, and make you call me daddy like baby do Wayne. Damn, that shit sounds gay, it's insane. I guess that's the price the little pay for fame.
But Wayne coming back, you know, he a lyrical monster. You know, he just Louisiana, he did his thing on there.
I go harder, all about $1, 2 quarters. I pour syrup in that vitamin water. I hope you die ugly and tonight I'm being gorgeous. Feed me your organs, bitch, I'm starving. Teardrops in my face like it's my party. And if it's my party, I could cry if I want to. Split your body up in half if I want to.
So if I'm just going off the bars alone, I gotta give it to Wayne. So that's why I said 50 took the L on that one. The next one is the one that I got the most pushback on. So we have I'm Not Rich and I'm Still Lying. Him going that Game, and Game coming back with 300 bars and running. Now, in my opinion, 300 bars and running, he went off. The Game is a lyrical monster. We can't take that away from him. We may not like all the antics and all the stuff that he do, but the boy can rap. You know what I'm saying? So I can't take nothing away from a dude that can rap as well as the Game. 50, yes, he'll come out with good diss tracks, and I'm Not Rich. That one was clever. It was good. He was talking like Game. It was very clever, but them bars on 300 bars and running, that's why I felt like Game took the beef lyrically. You know what I'm saying? All y'all in the comments, understand, I'm going off the impact in the lyrics. He took that. I can't take that away from Game, so that's why I gave Game the win on that one. Now the last one. This one, I pretty much it wasn't really, I put it there because it was one of the ones he did this. So Disrespectful, 50 Cent. On that, John, he was going at Young Buck. He did go at the Game too, but Young Buck was the most impactful one, in my opinion, on there. Young Buck, he came back with You Don't Know Me. You Don't Know Me was actually good too, but I just felt like so disrespectful. He just, it was classic 50. Like, he just, no holds barred, talking about family, all that type of stuff. I think he rang off on that one, so that's why I gave 50 to win. But that's the list for 50. So we're gonna go to T.I. T.I. I really didn't get too much back and forth on. First one was Stomp, the original, and Ludacris Stomp on the album. Luda took that, clear. You know what I'm saying? That was a clear one. This one, the only one I got a little pushback on was him against Flip. Flip, 99 Problems from T.I. Then Flip did the Lean Back freestyle. Some people in the comments said that T.I. lost. They thought that the Lean Back freestyle was better. No, in my opinion, 99 Problems, he was going at Flip crazy. That's when you really heard T.I. at his peak and he was on the rise. He won that. In my opinion, he won that. Next one, What's Up, What's Happening, and Shorty Low, done it all. So this one, actually, I'm not even gonna lie, I was actually gonna give this a tie, but when I really went back and forth, I'm like, now Shorty Low had the one line from the West Side, must be two sides, classic line. But What's Up, What's Happening, that was just T.I. at his prime. Like, he just was just going in line for line. I think it was 2 or 3 verses, but What's Up, What's Happening, the hook, what up? Now, I did play a little bit into the video on this one, only because he did shoot it in Lowe's hood, and it was a very classic, iconic video. But to take it away from that, just to make it back on the songs, like I said again, What's Up, What's Happening, in my opinion, took it. You know what I'm saying? Done is classic, no take away from Shorty Low, but What's Up, What's Happening, and ring off. Last one, not too many people know about, one of my favorite songs from T.I., Addresses. And he was going at Ollie Boy, a rapper from Atlanta, who had made a diss record to him first called I Want In. Addresses to me is one of my favorite songs. Like, that was just classic Tip. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was just showing you why he's who he is. You know what I'm saying? I Want In, I felt like that was just, you know, a young guy trying to get in the game. So he gonna go at him, and I think he went at Jeezy too. But Addresses, anything I want to sing, ride dirty when I claim. Like, T.I. was going off, so that's why he got the record that he got, and I gave him 3 wins and 1 loss. For 50, I gave him 7 wins, 6 losses, and 1 tie. But that's my breakdown. Y'all let me know in the comments, is your boy tripping? Should I give more? Should I give less? Were there other disses that I didn't mention that y'all probably know about that I should have mentioned? Let your boy know in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe to the video, and your boy is out. Know that.